Good morning, small players. Welcome to another pre-market stream where we analyze the stocks on our pre-market scanner and we look at support and resistance levels that we use to trade all day long. This morning is actually pretty quiet still. The stream is started at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time, and the scanner does not have a lot of stocks on it. So the stream is going to be brief in terms of small caps, and then what we'll do is we'll look at the general market chart because I know a lot of people are still nervous about the sell-off and would like to have some sort of an idea of where buyers and sellers might come so they prepare. Obviously, 9 a.m. is a big time where news is dropped, so I am sure we'll have more stocks populate the scanner after 9 a.m. and even before that as some momentum picks up and the scanner fulfills the criteria for stocks to be a part of it. If you guys want to have the scanner and have it update for you in real time, we sell it. If you go in the link down below, small players, actually upgrade, yeah, smallplayers.com /programs. You'll see the scanner there. So yeah, that's it. So let's run through these. Again, I'm gonna run through them like 5 times while we're talking. There's nothing exciting. The first one is OPGN. OPGN is something that frequently shows up on scanner. Every few months they'll have a pump like this. So we know it. Obviously, we see the levels from some point in the past that we traded it. We're going to start new levels this morning. The most important level that I immediately see, and I hope that you guys also, as you're watching this, try to identify the levels yourself now that you've been watching this stream for a few weeks, that you're learning support resistance. So the most obvious level I see is this level of 3-4. Why? Well, we went above it here. We had this very sharp rejection. So when you have a candle like this, that's this long, and the wick is so high on the top, and all these candles have names, and some people bother too much learning the names, but it's really not the names that you're supposed to worry about. It's what they represent. Who cares? Name it something yourself. So this candle, first of all, the whole candle is very large, so that means that it has a large range. So there was a lot of volatility during the 5 minutes that this candle opened and closed. It opened at $3.03 and it closed at $3.17, which is the body of the candle, the open and the close. But then the range of the candle went all the way from 317. Sorry, it closed at 325. I apologize. But the range of the candle went all the way from 317 to 347. So that's a big range. Let's see what that's percentage-wise, right? Yeah, so that's like a 9% move in 5 minutes. However, very important, the body of the candle is small, and then the important thing is that the candle closed red after this large move. So buyers came in, the candle opened here. This is I'm sorry, the candle opened here because it's a red candle, right? So opens top, closes bottom. Candle opened here. It went all the way up here. It was pushed all the way down here, and then bulls were able to come in just a little bit, and that's where we closed. So, it shows that there was a lot of sellers here. And, we could think that this is the level, 347. However, we have the second candle again with very sharp rejection there. So this one, it's a green candle, opened here, closed here, but it went all the way up there and down here. This is a very bullish candle. There is no selling pressure whatsoever, right? Open here, close here, easy right up. This one, we're seeing some selling pressure, open here, went all the way up there, closed there, but still, pretty bullish. The body's pretty big, and then we're getting into this territory where we're seeing more weakness. And then again, we try and break above it. We have some consolidation, very sharp sell-off, and then look at this. Look what short sellers did there. So we know that's a very big level. Once we broke above it, what happened? Squeeze, short squeeze, our favorite. When we went down to test it, resistance turned support, found bottom there. Now we're grinding up, trying to break above VWAP. That's really all trading is. Sometimes it can be that as easy as little. Okay, I'll try again later. Literally, oh my God, guys. Okay, never mind. Didn't have my morning coffee yet. It could be as easy as finding one level and trading around that level all day long. Trading breakouts above that level, trading bounces. If you are also a short bias trader, you can go from shorting to longing, from shorting to longing, which we have some people in the chat room do. I personally, because I teach all day long, and beginners obviously have to start with longing first. Shorting is a very advanced strategy because the risk is so high. I stick to long bias trading just to not confuse anyone. But we do talk about how, we short something. And then we have Eric, who, if you guys are in the chat room, you'll know he's actually a short bias trader. And oftentimes, the two of us trade against each other. But trading, when you trade just shares, not options, it's not a zero-sum game. Both sides can make money, and it happens very often. Okay, so these are levels I would watch on this one. Obviously, this is a very big level. Bounce is there, a take. Granted, this we had a first bounce, so second bounces are riskier than first. It's trying to hold VWAP. Bounce on VWAP is something, that I also take. We're also seeing some flat top being formed here in 356. Break above 356 would also be a trigger. For that, I'd use VWAP as a stop because it doesn't have much room to 363, which is the first resistance. For any trade lower than that, I'd use the EMA 20 as a stop because it's so, it trails it so perfectly. Or if I had entered on, this 3-4 bounce, I would just have the stop loss right before 3-4. Note again, this is pre-market, so we say stop loss because we're just talking in terms of where our risk level is, but there is no stop losses pre-market. Okay, the next one. I'm trying to remember if we've traded this one before. The name sounds familiar, but then all of these are familiar. I don't know if this one will do anything. There's sometimes... When did this one drop news? 7 a.m. We'll have to check the float on this. Actually, I'm going to do it on my phone real quick. Or well, you guys can see, because we have, this nice bot in the chat room that does this for us. I want to see what the float is. Okay, 37 million, so that's not bad. So maybe I'd be interested. We drew up the levels. It's below VWAP now. Let's see on 1 minute chart if there's anything. It's below the indicators that we care about. So this one's gonna have to, for me to be interested, it's gonna have to get back above VWAP. We do have this big resistance on 29.25. VWAP is 28.59. Okay, so there is some. The problem, that's not enough range. So actually, I'm not gonna do VWAP. I'm gonna do break above this 29.25. Oh no. Because that, we could have a squeeze there, and then definitely if we break above higher day, then the stock can really go and squeeze. But until then, this is all riskier for me. If it drops all the way down here, or EMA 20, and by the time it gets down there, EMA 20 might even ascend there, then yeah, I would do a reversal trade for that. But here the range, the levels are too close to each other that I don't feel like I have enough range to trade that. So I'm going to create 2 alerts. One for if it goes above that level, one if it goes below. And remember, this is what I often talk about. In trading, we don't try to predict the future. We have no idea what the future holds. And the reason why I bring this up so often is because it's really important and beginners don't understand it. Even people that have been trying to trade for quite some time don't understand it. The stock is in no man's land now, right? We can't figure out, if you look at this, you can't figure out if it's bullish, if it's bearish, what is it doing right now, who has momentum. You can't figure it out. Because it's even, right? So there's a 50-50% shot that it can go up and down, right? So I don't know why some people think that the market is like a casino and 50% shot is enough. So they're like, okay, I'm just gonna buy here and hope for the best, hope that it goes up. The market doesn't really work like that, and it makes no sense um, to enter trades that you are not even confident in. You're saying, well, I hope it does. In trading, we just determine support and resistance, and then we're ready either way. If it drops here, we can trade a bounce trade. If it comes up here, we can trade a breakout trade. But we don't try to predict what it's going to do first. It's a waste of your time and energy. It's extremely unproductive and could get you in trouble. This is how you can end up being one out of the 9 out of 10 traders that loses money, because you try to predict what the future holds, and that's not something anyone can do, and it's just a waste of time. I hate when people talk about trading in terms of this is going to happen or that's going to happen. No one knows, but we're saying if it breaks above this, we have enough proof on the chart to believe that short sellers might get squeezed, and that's where we will enter. That's not us predicting the future, because we're not saying, hey, shorts will definitely get squeezed there. That's what I'm doing. Because you never know. That you don't know what's going to happen when you get there. Sure, we expect to see a squeeze because it's so obvious the shorts were shorting there. However, at the same time, shorts can re-short it to defend their level. That happens. And drop it down to here. We don't know. But if we don't take the risk, we're not going to make money. Trading is not certain, right? It's unpredictable. We have to take risks to make money. But the important thing is to take a calculated risk, not a 50-50 lottery risk. Calculated risk, right? And the calculated risk is based on what I'm seeing. I expect them to squeeze here, so I feel like I can have a good trade there. To the next level of resistance, to high of day, we have 3% there. If it breaks above high of day, we expect another squeeze, and that's it. That's all I'm interested in. I'm not interested in speculating what it will do or whether it would do anything. Many times in the chat room, I will write my trade plan and then I'll never take the trade. Why? Because the trade plan never triggered. So this stock continues to trade in this range all day. I'm not going to have a trade because it's not getting into either one of my entries. And even if it gets to my entry here, I'm not buying automatically because it could get here, never find buyers to bounce. My trigger is a bounce, not a touch of that level. So I need to see it like a ball when you drop a ball to the floor and then it bounces back up. That's what I need to see to enter. If it doesn't, if it continues to die a slow death, I'm not interested in it. This one's been on scanner a bunch for the past couple of weeks. I don't love charts like this. It's all like more like barcoding and whatever. But if you guys were watching, it just recently got picked up on scanner, which means it recently is getting more momentum. And it's trying to go towards VWAP. So, if it breaks above VWAP, I would expect a squeeze. Also, where VWAP is, we see there's a lot of resistance here in this level of 1.8. So a break above 1.8 is where I would trade it. And actually, that level sounds very familiar. I feel like we traded 1.8 on this stock at some point last week. So I got one there. This one also, as we were talking, just recently popped up on scanner. This level is a clear level. There's a rejection here, rejection here, rejection here. So a break above that level, which also now happens to be VWAP, would be something that I'm interested in. And remember, these alerts don't work pre-market because the stock is, if you look at here, that's the closing price from yesterday. So even though we can trade pre-market and we have pre-market data, I realize the alerts don't work, and I should probably look into that and ask TD whether there's a way to have pre-market alerts. I mean, this one, the volume's still too low on the day, so I didn't even want to bother. I guess I'll put this one here too, because there's not like a lot going on this morning. Okay, that's that for that. And then let's look at the SPX chart. Oh no, I didn't want to upgrade now. One chart. So the S&P 500, it actually did drop a little more, and it hit our the other buy levels that we wanted, which I'm super excited about, because when we had the when we last analyzed the chart. Well, let's just zoom in and then talk about it more. Okay. So we had this bounce the last time we did this stream, and then we were talking how we could have some profit taking here. Granted, there was profit taking. We don't take profit for our long-term positions in the S&P 500 on those small bounces. As you know, we charted where we're going to take profit next. We don't overdo it, but those little areas of resistance, we take profit on individual stocks if we feel like the market's rotating out of them or could rotate out of them, or if we're just generally losing conviction in them. So, so we had that little bounce, which was above this level. So, this day, there's such a big sell-off, so we were buying all the way down, but we had orders that were waiting to get filled and they didn't. After this bounce, when it went down and tested it, our orders finally got filled. So that was super exciting. At this point, I feel like from technical perspective, we've completed the selling. We touched this very key level of support, which is more short term, medium term. This is a longer term level of support. We maybe could go down and touch that too. It would be nice if we did. We have a profit, buy levels there waiting to get filled. So, in the short term, it seems from technical perspective very important that the sell-off is over. However, there's a lot of fundamental reasons why we could see some more selling, and I'll talk about it in 1 second. Be sure to watch our weekly recap videos also, where we talk more about the macroeconomics. But for right now, what I want to do is I want to drag this level a little down. So this level gives us the next profit taking. We had the bottom here because that was the bottom, but now that we made a lower bottom, we have to move it lower. I will make a video on Fibonacci for YouTube so you guys can know exactly how we draw these levels. But my next profit taking is now there. If it goes down and makes a lower low, we'll find, the next profit taking based on that. The lower it goes, the lower the profit goes down. So anyway, from technical perspective, this looks like, okay, it hit a key level. We should be ready. However, we have the fundamental problem, which is the debt ceiling not being raised and the U.S. running out of money on October 17th, or I don't know, then Yellen said maybe we have few days after that. So potentially, because what we were seeing is that, people are buying the debt, but not as much as normal. For example, see here when we hit this key level, look at this, right? Here we hit this key level, look at this. Now we have a lot of hesitance, and my assumption is that the hesitance is there because people want to see what happens to the debt ceiling. I have a whole video on the debt ceiling. So if that's the case, then we have 2 other weeks of maybe some consolidation bouncing back and forth in this channel, which works great for me because we get to, just continue dollar cost averaging. If it wants to drop and touch this level, even better because we have cash sitting there waiting. And that level is really key because it was resistance, then it was support, could be support again. Again, second levels of support are weaker than first. So, there could be less buyers there than there were here on the first one. So anyway, we don't try to predict the future, and we don't try to say what will happen. Just based on what we're seeing, next thing we do, we continue dollar cost average. We make sure we have orders waiting here just in case we touch it. And then we, wait for us to start hitting new all-time highs again. What else did I want to say about this chart? Yeah, no, that was it. That was all I wanted to say about the chart. So it's 8:45 now. I'm gonna close this so we can go back to trading. Hopefully we get some more stocks on the scanner. not that I need more stocks, because you know me, guys. Yeah, I like to just trade one stock all day because it's obvious. The reason why I'm hoping we get some more is because I'm not in love with any of these charts, but they could get better if they start, breaking above these key levels. But right now, all of them are below VWAP, and that's just not too exciting to me. But sometimes, we often talk about this. Trading is mostly waiting. You do your analysis and then you just wait for your triggers. I will see you guys tomorrow. Good luck today.